Hello there and welcome along to another mixed martial arts conversation for Sky Sports. Very pleased to say we are joined by Bellator light heavyweight contender Anthony "Rumble" Johnson ahead of his upcoming fight against Jose Augusto. Fantastic to speak to you. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, I mean, I have to say there's a little bit of a feeling of disappointment that you're not facing up to Yoel Romero, two legends duking it out this coming weekend. But how have you adjusted to that?
Just fine. It's another fight. It's another deadly opponent, which that's what I expect from here on out in my career. I don't expect to fight people that's not at my level. I expect to fight hardcore, stone cold killers. And I think he's one of those, even though people haven't heard of him. He's dangerous. He's dangerous.
Yeah, just the one Bellator fight, Jose Augusto, Brazilian. I know he's trained with the Pitbull brothers as well. Is he someone that you know well then, that maybe the sort of more casual fans aren't across?
I don't know him at all. I watched his last fight, and well, I watched a couple of his fights, and he does have talent. He does present a couple of things that I have to watch out for. I don't take anything away from him. We both haven't had enough time to study each other, and everybody thinks that they figured me out. They think that they can take me down and submit me, but it's a lot harder than it looks.
Do they forget about your wrestling background then? Is that because you've been such a killer on your feet?
Yeah, they do. They do. But they find out quick whenever they try. So I just got to make sure I keep a little bit of fear in that man's heart so he doesn't bother me too much.
Did you know when you got into MMA that you would be so good with your hands, or did you expect to be more of a wrestler?
Honestly, man, I just wanted to compete and I just wanted to be the best. I didn't know how good I was going to be. I just knew that I would be something. I didn't know what. So, I just rolled the dice and see what happened.
Yes, I mean, it's great to have you back in the sport of MMA, and your first fight in the cage, I believe, since 2017. You're looking great shape on Instagram, but it's not about power and your fitness. Is it about timing? Is that the key thing when you get back in there?
That's about everything. It's about everything. This is something that I'm made to do. My grandmother even told me that, I wouldn't be fighting. You wouldn't be doing this interview with me right now if it wasn't for her. When I was coming back, I told my brothers and sisters, I didn't really need their permission, but they're the closest people to me besides my grandmother. They were very supportive, and last but not least, most importantly, I wanted my grandmother's blessing to be able to come back. I wanted her to be okay with it, and she was. She said, "It's okay, baby. This is what you're meant to do." When she said that, I didn't need to hear anything else from anybody else. I was all in.
Because your grandparents raised you, is that correct?
Yeah, they adopted me. They adopted me at the age of 2. Yeah.
And they could see the fighter's instinct from the start, could they? Knew.
Well, it was for me. They didn't want me to go down the wrong path. I can go left, and I can go left again. My dad, he was an alcoholic. My mom was a former drug addict. So, genetically, I was in bad shape. You know what I mean? So they did all they could to make sure I didn't go down the wrong path. So sports was the key.
Yeah.
Put me in sports, kept me in sports and in school. And, that's all I know now.
With that in mind, how good does it to be back in the cage? Does it give you a focus, give everything a kind of a clarity when you're back in competition?
Yeah. I can just tell this is something that I'm meant to do. It makes me feel good. I'm an athlete, man. It feels like that's all I know. I'm trying to transition from an athlete to a businessman. It's going pretty good. But I still got a long way to go.
Yeah, you're in a new business as well in Bellator. You've moved from the UFC, obviously had a long career in there. How do you see the differences? Is there a difference you feel? Is there a difference in the culture there between the two organizations?
Man, everything right now is just so laid back. Everybody's super cool. And the staff at UFC was amazing. I never had any issues with them. I never had any issues with anybody in MMA. But Bellator right now, man, it's faces that I haven't seen in a while. it's so good to see them, and everybody's so cool and so laid back, and everybody's welcoming towards me. You know what I'm saying? Everything feels so natural. So I'm glad Bellator has given me another opportunity.
That's fantastic, and it's an exciting Grand Prix as well, the light heavyweight Grand Prix. What do you make of the situation? Corey Anderson thinks the division is better than the UFC's currently light heavyweight. He thinks it's the best in MMA. Do you see that with the competitors
so.
you're up against?
I think so too. I think so too. I think we'll give anybody a run for their money. I think we'll come out on top. You know, that's just speaking confidently of our guys. You know, and nothing to take away from anybody else, because the other organizations have some killers. You know, my boy Anthony Smith is a beast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my boy Vulcan is a beast at 205. He used to be one of my main training partners. You know, whenever he was in the States. And but now I just feel like I'm in a weight class where everybody's a seasoned vet. They know what time it is, you know. No, there's no warming up when it comes to us. So I'm excited about the light heavyweight weight class, and I think we're gonna set the tone for what the light heavyweight division should be.
How do you like the Grand Prix setup? You know that you fight Nemkov if you get through this. Does that add something for you? Does it add a structure that you like, a bit of certainty?
I mean, it's a tournament. You know, anything can happen. Everybody that's in this tournament is legit. They put in their time. You know, as far as Nemkov, I can't think about him. You know, if I think about him already, I'm looking past the guy that's trying to take my head off before him. So, you know, Nemkov can wait. Nemkov can wait.
It's a good way of looking at it. Corey Anderson's also made some pretty stark comments about the pay situation in Bellator versus the UFC. He says he's been paid better than he ever was in the UFC. How do you see that picture, particularly with the likes of Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou in the UFC currently? Do you think there's increasing pressure on the UFC to share more of the pot with the fighters?
Well, I think, you know, I'm speaking on all of it. You know, I think at the end of the day, we as MMA fighters should be getting paid just as good as the NBA players and the NFL players and the Major League Baseball players, you know, hockey, all of that. You know, I'm not trying to skip any sports because I don't feel any other sport is superior to the other. You know what I mean? So I don't want to not say a sport that, you know, whatever. But I think we should be getting paid no matter who you fight for the same way, because we put our lives on the line just as much as those other athletes do in other sports. We get, and the fact that those other athletes know who we are. They know who we are. They, you know, they know who we are. They come to see us play, not play, but fight, compete. I'm like, man, the fans are out here to see us. These other athletes that make millions a game come to see us. We deserve to get a piece of the pie, you know. Just my own opinion, you know. I think it's I don't think that it's cool that, you know, I'm gonna just stick to Bellator. Put it that way.
Yeah. Can I ask you about that fight? Because you know, Jon Jones was in your old division as well. The matchup with the heavyweight Ngannou, Jones moving up. Do you think that is a fight the UFC needs to put on for the good of the sport?
Yeah, if those two gentlemen want to fight each other, hell, let them fight. Let them fight, man. You know, this is what they do. They are the best in the world. If they want to fight, let them fight. These, like, UFC knows what these guys are worth. And these guys are asking for a few million. Make it happen, because you already made your millions. You know, once again, I'm gonna focus on Bellator.
Yeah, well, that's good. I appreciate that. But it's great that Bellator's here, right? And that PFL's here. There's other options for fighters because that makes the market better.
PFL, I fought for them World Series of Fighting before they were PFL, and that was great. They were great. You know what I mean? Everybody over at PFL was amazing. I had a ton of fun fighting for them for, I think, a year and a half, 2 years. I fought for them, and had a great time. Had such a great time. So every organization I've been a part of, it's been an amazing ride.
Yeah, good to have options for fighters, and I think we agree that you should get paid as well because you keep the show alive. You are the show. A quick thought of how you see this fight playing out, because do you go in there now, because you've had so many cancellations in your career, do you go in there and just take an assessment at the first few seconds of what you're facing rather than going with too many plans in your head?
Well, I know I'm not gonna go in there and rush the man because he's dangerous. He's a fighter, and it doesn't take a lot to knock somebody out. You know, a lot of people think about is how hard you hit, but it's not actually how hard you hit, it's where you hit people. You know, um, with Jose, I just got to do me. Just got to do me and beware of the things that he can do. You know, and I have to always make sure I'm one step ahead. Not even one, two steps ahead because he's dangerous. He has everything to gain and nothing to lose. So I got to be a couple steps ahead and be sharp.
And being a tournament, it's about getting a W, isn't it? There's less pressure to impress, maybe.
That's what I want to do. I just want to win. I just want to win. I don't care if it takes 25 minutes or 25 seconds. I just need to win.
Hey, final thought, because we've kept you for a long time and we really appreciate it. But what do we expect from you back in the cage then? Fully fit, on point for the weight, and just about to deliver something spectacular?
I'm gonna go out there and be myself. Y'all know what happens when I fight. You know what I mean? Something.
Yeah.
I can't say what. It can be a knockout. It could be a kick. Hell, you may just see me do a submission. You just never know when it comes to me. But I just want to go out there and have fun, and that's what's important to me right now. Just going out there and having fun. And whenever somebody's having fun, they usually give it their all. So that's all I can give you, man. I can give you my all and watch me have as much fun as possible out there.
Well, great to see you back. Great to see you smiling as well. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Rumble.
Thank you.